Taking this class has made me more aware of what technology is available to be effectively used in a literacy classroom, as well as how to implement it. One of the most important things I learned about was TPAC. I've been introduced to it before, but learning about it in this class made it more applicable to me. Something about TPAC that I really need to remember is to always choose the content first and then pick a technology tool to go with the lesson. The technology always needs to be relevant and effective, just like any other tool I would use in my classroom. We practiced this by writing a TPAC lesson plan, which I felt was really beneficial. I chose my standard and then I picked my technology tool after that, and I think that this lesson would be fun and educational in my own classroom. In all of my classes, we have learned what technology tools would be useful or helpful in a classroom, but we never talk about technology classroom management. One strategy we talked about from this class that was observed in a one-to-one iPad classroom was Apples Up. This means that students need to put their iPads on their desk with the Apple up so that they are paying attention to the teacher and not their iPad. We even got to implement this strategy when we were teaching lessons to our peers, and it actually worked really well. Our peers pretended to be students, and they would get distracted during our instruction. When we would say apples up, the students wouldn't have that distraction anymore. I thought that this was such an effective and clever strategy that I would definitely use it in my classroom if I happen to be a teacher in a one-to-one school. A third thing that had a big impact on me was seeing actual students use technology in their classroom. I was so amazed at how the students use social media effectively in their classroom. I took a technology class all about social media, but seeing the real-life examples had such a larger impact on me. Not only were the students learning, but they really seemed to enjoy their projects. The project that stuck out to me the most was the Romeo and Juliet Snapchat project. So many students use Snapchat these days that it's a familiar tool for them. Something else I liked about this experience was how the teacher was not a digital native, but she did not let that stop her. She embraced the technology and wants to use it effectively in her classroom. She takes her old lessons and revamps them for today's students in such an awesome way. I liked how she talked about how she chooses the content first and then the technology, which I just talked about earlier. She also gets to know a tool really well before she uses it, so she knows how to teach it to her students. Something else I found helpful was how she used the same things we are learning in class right now in her own classroom. This makes this class seem so much more worthwhile and important to me because we know that we have just spent 2 weeks working on projects that can be used in our own classrooms. The past 2 weeks have been very beneficial to me in the preparation to becoming a teacher. As my time in school is dwindling, I am getting more and more excited to jump into a classroom and see how I can engage and motivate my students using technology.